is good and it's getting better. We are spiraling up, 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 full of love and it's growing stronger. We are spiraling up, up, up. We are spiraling, we are spiraling, we are spiraling up, up, up. We are spiraling, we are spiraling, we are spiraling up, up, up. Life is great and it just gets better. We are spiraling up, 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 full of love and we're growing stronger. We are spiraling up, up, up. We are spiraling, we are spiraling, we are spiraling up, up, up. We are spiraling, we are spiraling, we are spiraling up, up, up. You guys know you want to get up? Life is good and it's getting better. We are spiraling up, 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 full of peace. I'm feeling calmer. We are spiraling up, up, up. We are spiraling, we are spiraling, we are spiraling up, up, up. We are spiraling, we are spiraling, we are spiraling up, up, up. Life is great and it just gets better. We are spiraling up, up, up. We are one and we're growing stronger. We are spiraling up, up, up. We are spiraling, we are spiraling, we are spiraling up, up, up. We are spiraling, we are spiraling, we are spiraling up, up, up. Woo! Nice job, everyone. That feeling of connection, that love and joy and bliss, that confidence, that warmth we feel like we can never miss. Some call it energy, some call it love, some call it spirit, I call it God. How big is your God? 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 Here we all know that thoughts are things. Whatever you're thinking, well, that's what life will bring. What joy can you imagine? How much can you conceive? You can have all that and more. Just let yourself believe. How big is your God? How big is your God? Everybody, how big is your God? How big is your God? Do you allow yourself to bloom like a flower? Or are you scared? Scared of your own power? It is always waiting. Well, it's right there for you. All you've got to do is let it come through. How big is your God? Everyone together now. How big is your God? Couple more times. How big is your God? One more time. How big is your God?
All right, there is some energy in this room today. Thank you, Zoe. So as we simply go into the invocation this morning, the question is how big is your God? Well, I know that it's big enough to bless this gathering, this center, all of you out there tuning in. I know that it's big enough to bless the team of people who are here today to make this happen. Whether it's seamless or not, it's all God. We bless the kids that we haven't gotten to see in a while, but certainly are in our hearts. And we bless all of you. No matter where you are, what's going on, we're holding you in our heart because life is great and it just got better. Please help me anchor this by saying, and so it is. So this morning we're blessed by having not only the presence of Zoe doing music, but we also have Stevie, who's going to be our candle lighter today. We're celebrating truths and the path of compassion. Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness of the path of love. Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And of course, New Thought, where we're honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. Now our last candle is the healing candle of love. So we invite you in the stillness of your own mind to bring to awareness the names of anyone that you wish to be included in this healing flame of love and of light. And so now that our flames of faith are fully lit and we move forward into our celebration, realizing and reaffirming that all paths lead to God. Thank you, Stevie. Feels nice to have different energy in the room. So, our purpose statement. And I know you're at home and you're probably sitting down and having your cup of coffee, but please join us in saying this because it anchors us into why we're here even when we're not here. So, what is our purpose, our reason for being? We awaken and inspire love and oneness. Now, our vision, of course, is, what do we want to create or become? We are an empowered, uplifting, inclusive community. And of course, our mission, how are we going to do this? We teach spiritual transformation with grace and joy. Thank you. I heard Judy. Did you hear Judy? So our sacred reading today was written by Reverend Julie Schmidt, and it was actually written back in January of 2009. In the movie Oh God, John Denver keeps getting messages from God and ignoring them. But God persists until the message is received. Now our lives work the same way. One might say, listen for the whisper or wait for the brick. Our God is a persistent God. Now, Ernest Holmes tells us that everything comes out of the stillness. To live a spiritual life, we must release our busyness and make time for reflection. The psalmist reminds us, now be still and know that I am God. It does not say, run around like a mad person and know that I am God. Slowing down is not being lazy. It is being mindful and paying attention. I saw an article recently where the author discussed taking a bath and noticed that she had a big red splotch and 2 scratches on her wrist. She had no idea how she had gotten them, and she was embarrassed by that fact. We can be so unaware, and most of us have infrequent moments of attention. Now, Howard Thurman says that the central element in communicating with God is self-surrender. He wrote, I surrender myself to God without conditions or reservations. I shall not bargain. When we surrender, we realize that the spirit within us is greater than the human self who is out in the world. This realization is the beginning of a new life.
Everywhere I am is holy ground, for I walk in God. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of pure spirit makes my path gentle and easy. Gentle, easy, gentle. Everywhere I am is holy ground, and I live in love. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of pure spirit makes my path gentle and easy. Gentle, easy, gentle. Everywhere I am is holy ground, and I stand in peace. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of pure spirit makes my path gentle and easy. Gentle, easy, gentle, easy. Everywhere I am is holy ground, and I dance in joy. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of pure spirit makes my path gentle and easy. Gentle, easy, gentle, easy.
Thank you so much, Zoe, Aaron. Oh, and I know all of you out there on Facebook Live, go ahead. This is a good time to text each other and say hi and good morning as I welcome you all to the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living Facebook Live version. My name is Linda Steiner, and I'm one of many licensed practitioners that are here to serve and to pray and to just be in this amazing energy like Zoe has today. So if you're new to the Alaska Center, Centers for Spiritual Living, please go ahead and Google the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living. And when you go to our website, there's a tab there that says prayer, request for prayer. I know that you guys are starting to get used to it because we're seeing prayers coming through a lot more. And so please know that we are receiving those and that we surround each of you no matter what's going on in your life. Reach out to us. We are still here and we are still ready to pray you up. So use us. Oh, God, use me. So announcements for today. So yesterday the practitioners had a deepening, and so we got to see Camille from New Jersey came in on Zoom. It was awesome to see her, and it's so exciting to announce that she's doing her Preparing for Change, and it's going to be an online class. So there's a couple of things. Let me read what it is. This transformational program designed to help you embrace change. It's an essential element to healthy living and personal growth. And if there's anybody who's not going through change right now, I think we're all making different decisions and embracing the things that we know and that we don't know. So this is a great class. It's online. It's going to be 7 weeks. It's going to be 2 hours each class. But here's what you need to do. Before we get going on this class, Camille needs you to reach out, because she's offering 2 different start dates. And so before she determines whether you're going to start June 21st, which is summer solstice, isn't it? And then, or June 23rd, she needs to hear from you, and she needs to get you to sign up. So please, if you have any interest in being surrounded by like-minded people in a community that's talking about change, spirituality, and who we really are, this is the class for you. Now, I'm excited to announce that Kaleem Nurdeen, who just celebrated a birthday yesterday, will be our speaker next week. And then the weekend after, I'm going to be speaking, because we're going to let the Flemings escape to their cabin and enjoy a little bit of this amazing summer. So please keep us on your, I guess, what's the speed dial for Facebook? I don't know, but please come and support us in love as we support you in love. So now it's back to special music. Thank you, Zoe.
Who's the person who said you are not enough? Whose voice echoes in your head, putting you down, telling you no? Well, it's time to call their bluff. You are enough. You are beautiful. You're perfect and incredible. I'm perfect and incredible. Let's try that again. Thank you. You are enough. Wow, what's happening right now? Who's the person who said you are not enough? Whose voice echoes in your head, putting you down, telling you no? Well, it's time to call their bluff. You are enough, and you are beautiful. You're perfect and incredible, just the way you are, exactly as you are. Now think of that person when they were a kid, before they were rough. that was yelling at them, putting them down and telling them no, that they were not enough. But they are enough, and they are beautiful. They're perfect and incredible, just the way they are, exactly as they are. The next time you see someone acting really tough, remember a voice echoes in their head, putting them down and telling them no, that they are not enough. But they are enough, and they are beautiful. They're perfect and incredible, just the way they are, exactly as they are. We are enough, and we are beautiful. We're perfect and incredible, just the way we are, exactly as we are.
Wow, you never know what's going to happen. I had what I thought was just really great talk today, and I'm going to talk about mindfulness and a lot of other things, and one of the parts is going to be mindful action. And then we had the events of last night and more murder of black citizens. And it really threw me off track, and I reached out to the people I normally reach out to and thought I was pretty well composed. I got arrived here today and thought I had everything, and then I just fell back into it, and once again I reached out, thought I had it, and then the prelude song started, and I was kind of conflicted. We started off with Spiraling Up, and my first impression was, oh, that's sure a Pollyanna song. We're spiraling up, up, up. It doesn't feel very much like we're spiraling up. But there was a line in it when Zoe talked about spiraling to our oneness. And I realized then that is the key. It is all about oneness. And we are indeed spiraling. And that spiral means sometimes we're on the other side of the sun. As we spiral around, sometimes things aren't so wonderful. But we are indeed spiraling up, up, up. And that kind of changed my attitude. And then she went into how big is your God? And I realized, and I don't know what your higher power is or what it's like. But what is true for me is that the infinite presence that I look at as God is indeed bigger than anything else. It is bigger than any condition. It is bigger than the behavior of any human beings. It is bigger than all of that which I find so objectionable. And that infinite presence is indeed in and through all that is. And so, thank you, Zoe. It just takes that pure energy to help move all of us to that place of awareness where we can recognize the presence of God in all. Well, thank you all for inviting us into your home on this Sunday morning. We are here live, and all of our mistakes and warts and blemishes, we're trying to get better each week, and we are indeed spiraling up, 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 and I can't give enough thanks to our technical team, Neil, for pulling all this together, and multiple cameras and views and split screens and things way beyond my awareness. So thank you so very, very much, Neil and Bob and Aaron. Zoe for doing all this, and everybody that has contributed to this service this day. I'm going to talk about mindfulness, and exactly what do I mean by mindfulness. If you look that up in the dictionary, it's kind of a nebulous thing. It kind of talks sort of Buddha-ish and about being in the moment and everything. But mindfulness to me, mindfulness is being aware of our oneness, being aware of our connection to every other living thing, being aware of our connection to every being, and being aware of our connection to God. And when we can embrace that, when we can see that we are all children of the Most High, regardless of our skin color, regardless of our political party, regardless of what God we worship or anything else, it doesn't make any difference, because we are indeed all children of God. And when we can come from that mindfulness position, then we can do everything and make it gentle and easy. So I'm going to talk today about mindful intentions, mindful speech, and mindful action. Mindful intentions. When I am asked for my elevator speech, I have kind of two components. It depends on how many floors I got with this person. But it is generally, I say we believe in God, believe in one infinite power, one presence. And I also believe that our thoughts are creative. And I think that's one of the cornerstones of what I believe in life, that thoughts become things. And therefore we have to pay attention to what it is we're thinking. What are we intending? Where are we planting our thoughts? And it's this whole idea of seed soil plants. Our thoughts are like seeds. They go into a creative medium, which is that part of God which responds to us, and they come back out as the manifestation in the physical world. Luckily, not all thoughts fall on fertile soil. Some of our thoughts fall on the rocky road, some fall in the brambles, some don't get to grow at all, and there have been a lot of my thoughts that I'm glad didn't grow. I think we're all like that to a certain extent. And then we have those things. Who do you think you are? That's the title of the talk today, and it's not because it's some great thing. It's because that's what my mother used to tell me when I was little. Who do you think you are? And that was usually followed up by her answer, and it was Mr. Smarty Pants, or by Little Lord Fauntleroy. Took me 50 years before I found out who Little Lord Fauntleroy was. But who do you think you are? Once again, back to Zoe's song. A dead spot, exactly right. Are you being told that you're not good enough, that you're not pretty enough, that you're not strong enough, that you're too short, you're too bald, you're too fat, you can't do that? What are you telling yourself? What seeds are you planting? We need to be aware of that. In the Hebrew Scriptures, in the book of Proverbs, there's a powerful one that says, as a man thinketh, so he is. As a man thinketh, so he is. So if you're constantly telling yourself that you're not good enough, guess what? You might not be good enough for that. But at the same time, you have the power within you to do that. Have you ever been in a group meeting, some of the seminars that we have and conventions that we go to? They have breakout sessions. You're a bunch of people you don't know, and so they have this icebreaker exercise you go through so you get to know everybody. And one of the questions you get is, oh, well, if you could pick any superpower that you could pick, what superpower would you have? And some people pick they can jump over tall buildings, and some people are faster than a speeding bullet and stop a freight train, or I forget what they all are. But everybody picks their superpower. But I'm here to tell you here this morning that you already have a superpower. You have the most powerful power in the universe, and it's already installed in you. And it is your mind. It is your thought. As you think, so it is. You can create the world with the power of your thought. I don't think that was in my talk. Your mind is the most powerful thing in the universe. It was 1966, and I was a sophomore at the University of Wyoming, and there was a new television show came out, and it was called Star Trek. And we had Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, and we had Scotty and all the characters and all their adventures as they went through space together. And all of these things were fantastic, but the thing that caught my attention more than anything else is they'd walk up to these doors and it'd just open. Now, how does that work? How did they know that? And so I asked some of my engineering buddies at the university, and they said, oh, well, that's real easy. We had sensors that would do it. What kind of sensor? What would it be? Weight. It'd be, well, if a moose walked by, the door would open and a moose could walk in? I don't know if that's right. We hypothesized all these ways that we could have doors automatically open for it. And I very carefully took that and classified. That's something for me to know way, way far in the future. Today, why, if we didn't have the door automatically open for us, we'd think something was wrong. I mean, you walk into the grocery store, open doors open. Walk everywhere you go, the door opens for us. Our minds can conceive of that and we can create it. Our minds are that powerful. What are you using your mind for? Wayne Dyer told us in The Power of Intention, you get what you intend to create by being in harmony with the power of intention, which is responsible for all of creation. Wow. The power of intention, responsible for all of creation, and that means everything that we do. Point number 2, mindful speech. Creation was spoken into being. We turn once again to the Hebrew Scriptures in the book of Genesis. Starts off in the very beginning, and God said, let there be light. Light was spoken into existence. And it goes through all of the stories of 7 days of creation. And God said, and then we had creation that came from that. Creation was spoken into existence. It's echoed in the Christian Gospels in the book of John, where he says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Existence was spoken in. Our speech is that powerful. It's a funneling of our intent. But we don't always use that. Sometimes we're afraid of our own truth. Sometimes we're afraid to hurt other people's feelings. Whew, I don't want to hurt their feelings. So we don't say anything. We sit in ignorance. Sometimes we don't speak because we're afraid of reprisal or revenge. Ooh, I might piss him off, and he's really going to come after me. Well, we can't have revenge, so I just won't say anything. And then the one that I find I am most guilty of is I don't say anything because people think that I'm trying to butter them up. I'm trying to make them feel better when it really wasn't true. And I think that's the biggest one of all. I think that it's important that we speak our truth. Our speech is so, so powerful. A man by the name of Jason Denny was lying alone in his hospital bed in Orlando, Florida. He was in the final stages of COVID-19. The family had said their goodbyes over the telephone. The priest had given him final rites. Even the doctors and nurses and the people that had been attending to him left, and he was there pretty much to die alone. Then a woman came into his room, Rosaura Quinteros. She was the cleaning lady. And Rosaura Quinteros and Denny began a conversation. They talked about their families. They talked about their faith. From behind her mask, she told him that he was in good hands in the hospital and that God wasn't done with him yet. The fact that English is not Quinteros' primary language didn't make any difference. She said, when a patient is treated with compassion and love, language is not a barrier. Well, against all odds, Denny began to improve. Each day he got a little bit better. He got a little stronger. Eventually, he left the hospital. Full of gratitude and a new respect for people like Quinteros, he said, I don't think she realized at the time what she was doing for me. Denny said, she was saving my life. And there we have a picture of Jason Denny and Rosura Quinteros. The power of our word. Speech implies communication. Speech implies an exchange of ideas. And I think that an important part of mindful speech is mindful listening. And I'm going to read a paragraph from Can We Talk to God by Ernest Holmes. It's long, but it is one of my favorite passages in all of Science of Mind. This, to me, is just so much Ernest Holmes. He writes, can we talk to God? We all know that we can talk at God, but it's a different proposition to consider whether we can talk to God. I am considering the topic from the standpoint of communication. Unless we are conscious that we are talking to God and God is conscious that he is being talked to, and Holmes is using the pronouns of the early 20th century. He's using he, and it's in the plural sense. That he, meaning God, not necessarily that God is a man, is being talked to, we certainly cannot communicate with God. There can be no real communication without the reciprocity of ideas. Either we can talk to God or we cannot. If we cannot, we might as well realize it and no longer try. But if we can, we feel certain that a little conversation with the deity would do us far more good than much conversation with each other. Mindful listening. When we can actually listen to the other person, not be constructing in our mind what we're going to be saying when it's our turn to speak, but instead we actually listen to the other person. We can gain an understanding of their perspective, of where they're from, what their feelings are, and we can break down some of the barriers that come between us. Finally, mindful action. Faith without action is meaningless. And I think that mindful action is action that's taken on the basis of our awareness of the presence of the divine in all that we do. And so I thought of various ways that we can take mindful action at this time. There are so many things that are happening right now in our world, from the virus to all of the protests that are going on, all of the changes that are happening as we are spiraling up, up, up. Some of the changes are uncomfortable. Some of the changes can appear destructive. But behind all of that, if we're coming from a position where we recognize the presence of God in each and every situation, then we can know that the action that we take is the right action. So what can we do in Anchorage, Alaska, as a spiritual community, as individuals, to effect a change in our world? What can we do? And I thought about that. And it seems to me there's one thing that we can all do. Vote. We are fortunate enough to live in a country that allows us to express our desires, our vision for what we can be through the power of our ballot. And yet so many times we don't vote. Oh, well, the missus and I look at that differently. We'll just be canceling each other out. Or it's just my vote. What's going to happen? We live in Alaska. We only have 3 electoral votes. What are we going to do in Alaska? My vote doesn't mean anything. but your vote does mean something. And I encourage each and every one of you to get out and vote. It's got to start with being registered. Are you even registered to vote? You need to find out. If you don't know, you need to find out. And if you're not registered, I urge you to register. And you need to be prepared for Election Day. Our election's going to be in November. You know, sometimes in November in Alaska, we can have some pretty nasty weather. Do you want to consider voting by mail? Do you want to consider casting your ballot from a distance? Absentee voting? Look at all of those. It's your responsibility to vote, and it's your responsibility to make sure that you can get your ballot cast and in. Encourage your friends and neighbors to vote. I'm not saying how to vote or what to vote, but vote. And I'm going to tee something up. Do we want to start, as a spiritual community, do we want to start a Get Out the Vote campaign? Help people register? Help people determine if they're shut-ins, they can't get out as well, they're not as mobile, to help them get to a place where they can cast an absentee ballot? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. And so you all know how to reach the center, AKSOM, the email. You can reach me, my private email, my church email, AKREVDON, Alaska Revdon, @gmail.com. Send me your thoughts. Would you be interested in starting a Get Out the Vote campaign? Because now's the time to start. That is a mindful action that we can take. That is an action that we can do together as a community. I feel like I left something out. I had a portion of today I was going to talk about. I had a series of very positive actions that have happened in this time. But I'm not going to share those today. There's one I thought was particularly significant, really touched me, and maybe I'll get into it in more depth later. But several years ago, many years ago, a fireman in New York City, in an amazing act of bravery, went into a burning building and saved a little 4-year-old girl. She lived, she went on, she lived an amazing life. She eventually went to school, she became a nurse, and she was a nurse in Virginia when the virus struck New York the hardest, and they were short of medical personnel and whatnot, and so she went back to New York to help as a trained medical professional. And I won't spoil the story for you, but I think you can guess who she encountered. Powerful story. And the reason that I include that that's just another example of the power and the presence of God in our lives. One power, one presence, one life. And that power is with us. It is not against us. Yes, sometimes we spiral and we've got downs, but we also have incredible ups. We have incredible advances, and those advances are on the verge of taking place right now. And if we can get a part of those, if we can step into that from a mindful position, we can affect a change in the world. So in conclusion, I don't know where that came from. Bernard Rustin once wrote, "The real radical is that person who has a vision of equality and is willing to do those things that will bring reality closer to that vision." So it is with our awareness of our oneness, awareness of that divine presence that exists within each and every one of us at every moment. I invite my colleagues, the practitioners, whether in this room or not. I invite the practitioner students to join me in holding our congregation in love and light. And just simply know that as we go through these difficult times, as we go through the challenges and the effects in this very real world, that there is a power that is far greater than we are, that is conspiring with us for our advantage, for the continued evolution and growth of humankind. That all of the effects that we see in this world are temporary. That the thing that's permanent is the very love of God. The thing that is permanent is our oneness. Know that each and every one of us are beloved children of the Most High, regardless of our ethnicity, our skin color, what part of the country we're from, what part of the globe we live on. None of that matters. What matters is our awareness that we are one. One with one another and one with God. And we know that this infinite presence is expressing through and as each of us always. And so we see past circumstance. We see past the effects of this world. And we embrace the presence of God. And so we just give thanks now. And we step back and we do what we can. We take mindful action. And we give thanks and we let it go, we let it be, and so it is.
Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it does. Peace fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it does. Health fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it does. Life fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it does. God fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it does. I allow spirit to do what it does.
I have to be retrained every week. This is the time in our service when we are afforded the opportunity to participate in the law of circulation. Just as a note, I want to thank everybody for
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. You ready? I'm so grateful.
I am so grateful, I guess. Where was I? Let's see, our affirmation today. But I did want to thank everyone. It is such a joy when the mail comes in. We get a check every week from Wasilla. I love getting. We get some others. But this week got one from our dear friend Dawn Macon.
Woo! Dawn Macon!
She wrote, "Thank you, Reverend Don, staff, practitioners, blessed other volunteers, students, you're all doing what you're all doing to share the message of God via Ernest Holmes' teachings. It gave me a hope, a purpose, and a family, and it enhanced and expanded me to give to and share with others. Signed, Don Macon, Rise, with a very nice check. So just wanted to acknowledge we do reach beyond these four walls, and thank you to Don. My affirmation that I got today in the basket, where did they think of all these ways of giving me the basket? Each week it's something, and they like to spring it on me because they know I don't do too well with changes. My affirmation today, I am open to accepting all forms of abundance the universe has to offer me. Our affirmation, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is.
Step outside and step within. Feel the breeze on your skin. Feel the love, it's trickling in. When you step outside, you step within. Step outside and step within. Feel the breeze on your skin. Feel the love, it's trickling in. When you step outside, you step within. Feeling rooted through the grass, stretch to touch the sky. Like branches in the wind, your mind is reaching high. Step outside and step within. Feel the breeze on your skin. Feel the love, it's trickling in. When you step outside, you step within. Step outside and step within. Feel the breeze on your skin. Feel the love, it's trickling in. You step outside, you step within. Feel the sand, the grass, the dirt, the earth between your toes. Feel the peace, it's bubbling up. Don't fight it, let it show. Yeah, step outside and step within. Feel the breeze on your skin. Feel the love, it's trickling in. When you step outside, you step within. Step outside and step within. Feel the breeze on your skin. Feel the love, it's trickling in. When you step outside, you step within. When you step outside, you step within.
Powerful music and a powerful message. So in closing today, who do you think you are? Because who you think you are, you are. Step into your superpower of listening and allow the doors to open. Set your intention with mindful speech and talk to God. Because God isn't done with you yet. It's time for all of us to spiral up. Please help me anchor this by saying, and so it is.
Eyes shine, feet dance, hearts sing when given a chance. Spirit loves to dance, 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 Spirit loves to dance.
Our affirmation today, my intentions are clear and powerful. My speech is filled with love and compassion.
My speech is filled with love and compassion.
Every action I take emerges from my awareness of my oneness with all. Action I take emerges from my awareness of my oneness with all. And so it is.
And so it is. I shine, feet dance, heart sing, when given a chance. Spirit loves to dance, spirit loves to dance, spirit loves to dance, spirit loves to dance, spirit loves to dance.